Welcome everyone back to I Want to Teach English, and today I want to really talk about digraphs. It's a phonics piece that I think all ELL students need to have to establish fundamentals really, and they're building their language skills. It's something that's truly unavoidable. I know lately I've been working with a lot of Hispanics, a lot of Latinos, and they have a lot of issues pronouncing words that have the TH sound. So, and that's just the Latino students. That's just the Hispanic-speaking students. But there are various other first language speakers out there that struggle with the American or the English digraphs rather. And so I want to get into that. But before I do me a favor. If you're new to this channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button and become a part of this new channel network that we're building here. Hit that like button, share this with others, especially other teachers who work with English learners. That would be a great help. Now, I want to talk about digraphs and specifically those, and I'm going to be sharing a piece that I work on that is included in the textbook that I wrote, I Want to Learn English. So it's not so much of the self-promotional thing, but it's also just something that's philosophically that I have invested so much of my career on. And so therefore, that's why I'm going to reference the textbook. So if you haven't already if you haven't got your copy of I Want to Learn English and you work with newcomers, and, you know, even maybe some level 2s that are struggling with pronunciations and maybe need some phonics remedial work and whatnot, I highly recommend that you pick up a copy too. The link to where you can purchase that will be in the description of this video. Thank you. All right, so let's talk about the digraphs. Now, I spend a great deal of time on digraphs with newcomers, especially because it's something that it's a good practice. It's helping build their language skills. It's something that I think a lot of teachers try to overlook or get past because they think that the students will just catch up or just incorporate that into their way of learning the language. Or maybe they just think through osmosis that will acquire that. And sometimes, well, I shouldn't say sometimes, usually that's not how it works. This is something that takes really strategic planning. These students need repetitious work in it. They need to have various different types of activities to help them develop these skills. And so I think I've come up with some pretty unique and efficient ways to do that. So I begin the second unit of my book talking about digraphs, and specifically the TH, SH, CH, PH, NG, and WH. Now, I spent a great deal of time talking about the TH because there's two ways you can pronounce TH. There's the voiced TH, as in this or that. You know, you always put that emphasis. You always get that hummed TH sound, that those, right? And then you have the voiceless ones where it's just the breath of it, like in think or nothing, right? So whenever there's that conversation that comes up, I always spend a great deal of time talking to students about listening to the differences of those two and really distinguishing them and categorizing them in various different vocabulary words that I use. But most specifically, I want them to focus and zero in on those words that have those specific two types of TH sounds, the voice and the voiceless. And I'll come back to that time and time again to get them to repetitiously practice them in order to really hone in on those two various sounds and really just dig their teeth into it, because they have to really master what they are, not just for the auditory pieces so that they can hear the differences, but also to be able to pronounce them and speak those differences. All right, so in the unit that I produced here, I give them a series of words, right? This is one way this is one strategy you could use. You give them some visuals, of course, to kind of bring those words with the visual or physical representations of them, so that they can incorporate that into their mind and really into their vocabulary. So it's just a matter of, like in these, I'm just kind of giving them the visual representations and just repeating those words over and over again. But then I have them do a series of words where they have to look at them and they have to actually point to those words as we're pronouncing them if they have a digraph. Such as over here in this example here that I have in section 15, I'm talking about chip. So I even show them that you point to the chip because it has a CH, right? WH, like what, it has a WH. And then there's the hat, and I'm looking to see if they're pointing to it or not. If they're pointing to it, I'm like, well, where's the digraph in the word hat? And of course, they'll catch themselves. Oh, no, that doesn't have one, right? And so on and so forth. So it's really just a matter of, you can create your own. Obviously, you can do them on the board. You can write it on a separate piece of paper, or you can have your own little printout where you have various words. Or sometimes what I'll do is I'll take a group of words with digraphs, and of course I'll always throw in there the words that don't have digraphs, and put them in an envelope, and I'll have them work in pairs or in small groups, and then they have to categorize those words that have the digraphs and not. So what they're really doing at this point is they're just looking for those letter combinations. They're looking for the CH. They're looking for the SH. They're looking for the TH. And so as long as they're visually be able to, so they first think how to visually discriminate them from all the other series of letters and words. And then once they do that, then they know, okay, now they can visually see, now they can distinguish the digraphs just by looking at the word. Okay, and that's going to help them in pronunciation as well. All right. So, and then I go into a series of numbers. Now, the reason why I spend so much time on TH, especially the TH, because, when you get to certain numbers like 3 and 30, and I always try to make it humorous, like I tell students are like, okay, you got to say the letter, and the number 3, right? And a lot of times they'll struggle with that TH and they'll say tree. And of course I'll say, okay, I draw a tree on the board and say, this is not the number 3, this is a tree, right? An audible in Spanish. And of course that always gets a lot of, laughs and whatnot. But in the end, they know it's a serious matter, that they need to distinguish that sound. They need to be able to pronounce 3 instead of tree, because if they're trying to get the point across, if there's numbers involved, especially those numbers, they want to be able to pronounce it accurately so that they can get whatever their point across is. So we do a lot of repetition with these numbers with the TH, like 3, 13, 30, 31, 32, etc. And so these are all numbers in the series that have the TH. And of course, I always tell them that this is these are voiceless, right? 3, 13, 30, 31, 32, 36, etc. So it's really a voiceless TH. And then I'll counter this, and I'll supplement this with some voiced TH words, and then we'll practice that. But they're not number words. I just make this point with the numbers because we're going to do more activities down the road that have to do with numbers. All right, so there is a video that I have on the other YouTube channel that's specifically to I want to learn English. And that one is here where there's actually QR codes. And if you notice all of my activities, a vast majority of them that have these auditory or video components are going to have QR codes. And that's just to make it accessible for the student, so they can practice this on their own later. It's also a good way for the teacher to not have to fumble through CDs or looking on a website. I mean, these are all on the website, iwtle.com. But if you have the QR code, I think it's a lot easier to just reach this specific activity and find the video and audio that goes with it much faster, much easier. The other thing I make short sentences, like in section 16.2, where we repeat these sentences. Now, these sentences are specifically written to have these digraphs in them throughout. And sometimes it could be a tongue twister for them, and especially newcomers. But ultimately, it's a good practice. It's a good routine to have. I always tell them it's your go-to. You have your QR codes. Go back there, go listen to them again, practice them again, go slow, look in the mirror, make sure you're producing those sounds correctly. Try to use the visuals with the tongue between the teeth and that sort of thing. And to go slow, really. I always tell my students to go slow. and do this as many times as you feel comfortable. And 16.3, now there's a conversation. This is all leading into a conversation. Now, it's a modeled conversation, but it's one that this particular one has to deal with a conversation between two people who work at a hospital. But this is loaded with digraphs. So it's really it's a I do, we do, you do type of process that we use for this, and I recommend that you do that so that everyone feels comfortable with this conversation, so they don't feel like they're being left back, or they don't feel shy about it. It's always good, depending on the size of your group you're working with. All right, and I'm going to stop there for that, because then I go into a whole other section, grammar piece. But ultimately, I think that's what we need to do as English teachers, as EL teachers, ELDs. I don't know. I get lost with all the acronyms. Every once in a while, they have to change things, right? But one thing that doesn't change is the way we approach our teaching methods and our strategies, so that our students can benefit from that and grow and show gains and really just become more proficient and move on to the next level. If you're like me, I spend a vast majority of my time working with the lower levels, the proficiency ones, the level ones, the newcomers, etc. They're just getting their feet on the ground, and it's really a work in progress. But it doesn't matter if you're working with middle level students or even advanced level students. I still work with advanced level students who have trouble pronouncing words with digraphs, and so this is a good practice no matter what level they are. If they're still aiming for that native speaker level, I always tell them you got to practice the fundamentals, and digraphs is one of those real fundamental phonic pieces that we just can't get around. We have to actually spend time in doing that. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. If you're still with me on this video, please hit the like on this video, share this with others. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell, spread the word. I want to teach English. It's something that I want to continue to do. Hopefully on this program, I'll get to interview some other people in this field. If you feel like you have something you'd like to contribute, drop me a comment below, DM me, go to our website, iwtle.com, send me a message. If you want to be on the program, you want to talk about something, I'm more than happy to share this platform with other teachers, professors, or anyone who thinks that they want to contribute to this program and help teachers become better to serve our students. And on that note, I'd like to thank you once again, and until next time, God bless.